When the Friday night lights come on,
everybody's there. Like, the stands are packed.
the stakes are higher than just winning and losing.
Kids in the city are struggling through so much.
In one of America's most dangerous cities,
Shreveport police are investigating after a sixth shooting breaks out in a matter of days.
I just started seeing a whole lot of killing.
success is measured on signing day.
I want any opportunity that I can to just make it.
One school has sent more players to the next level than any other in Shreveport over the last 2 years.
For me, it's much more important than myself winning games. It's how are we setting these young guys up to be successful.
These are the stories from those who have experienced the highs, experienced loss, experienced Shreveport. These are the stories of Shreve.
I was in like the 7th grade, I think, and I went to a game. My dad was like, man, there's a lot of people on the sideline.
Stands are packed, screaming. Sometimes younger had to have headphones on because it's too loud. It was the biggest game. Felt like it was a college football game because it was so big to me.
No other school in our city has the name Shreve or Shreveport in their school name. You know, you can't spell Shreveport without Shreve, and you know, we tell our kids that, you know, and it's something that we are really, you know, it means a lot to have that logo on your chest. It means a lot to have it on your helmet. Coach Hedges won a state championship in 1973, and obviously the stadium's named after him, so he's still a big deal here at Shreve. And obviously Coach Hedges had a lot of success. Coach Larry was really responsible for trying to bring the tradition back.
Coach Richard Larry of the Captain Shreve Gators died of a heart attack earlier today, and Coach Larry was enjoying the Captain Shreve and Southwood baseball game before being rushed to the hospital.
He wasn't just a coach for the football team, he was everyone's friend and kind of like a father figure to everyone here.
One thing I loved about him also is every time I was at any Captain Shreve event, he was always there. Yeah. It was regardless, it did not matter what it was, anything that had to do with the school, he was always in attendance.
When Coach Larry passed, Coach Sepulveda took it over and really kind of took it to another level. First 10-win season in 5A history. First #1 ranking in 5A history. Obviously, had a lot of good players that kind of started the pipeline to college. Now I'm here after serving as Coach Sepulveda's offensive coordinator.
Y'all trust me, don't you?
He makes sure that we good mentally. When we get on the field, then it's, you know, when it's time to work. But out the field, it's just like another dad.
Got my first full-time job at Independence Community College in Kansas. I'd never been to Kansas before, never heard of Independence, but it was a full-time job. Rachel and I got married at 6 o'clock on a Saturday, and on Sunday at 7 a.m. we loaded up and went to Independence.
Since we've been married 10 years, we haven't really celebrated because he's always in the middle of football. And so we go with the flow and we celebrate in our own special way.
Somebody that pushes you to be your best in all avenues of life and then encourages you to go do it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to repay her for that. And when we had our twins, you know, I started looking at my paycheck, and $40,000 didn't go as far as it did when it was just me and Rachel, so I knew we were going to have to do high school and make a little bit more money. And this was a school that I knew if I was going to do high school, I wanted to be here. I called Brian when Rachel got pregnant, and he didn't have any openings. I called him again when she gave birth. He didn't have any openings, and you know, eventually it worked out. And once he called me, I had him on speakerphone because we were doing something, and Rachel kind of took the job for me. She said,
"We're putting the house on the market. We're on our way."
I feel like Coach Kirby is like different from a lot of coaches. I feel like he cares for the players more, because like a whole bunch of coaches, they focus on winning and like getting the championships and having the best players on their team. But like I feel like Coach Kirby focuses on us being safe and getting us out of Shreveport and make sure that we have something to do after high school.
A lot of our kids do want to get out because it's gotten so bad with the crime and the gun violence that, you know, being able to put Shreve on your helmet and represent the city and show the city that, you know, there is a right way to do things and there is an avenue to get out and better your life. For me, it's much more important than myself winning games. It's how are we setting these young guys up to be successful. If that's the wrong way to do it, then I don't want to be right, you know, because I'm smart enough to know I got to win, but I'm also smart enough to know that no one cares. We could win a state championship this year. And if that happens, nobody outside of this high school is going to care. But if I can help and our staff can help 10 young men go to college and set themselves up to be successful in the future, then that's 10 people that we've helped.
We begin tonight with breaking news. At least a dozen Shreveport police units are at the scene of a shooting on David Rains.
It's not really safe. Like, you never know who you can trust down here.
A 6-year-old child is shot by a stray bullet in Shreveport while she was playing outside.
I have friends that have passed away, then so I just know how, I know how it is because I see it. And then, regardless of where you grow up, you can still be around it because it's Shreveport. It's like wherever you go, it's something somewhere.
A large police presence in Shreveport late last night after a deadly shooting.
All you gotta do is open your phone. You ain't even gotta watch the news. All you do is open your phone, man. Another person died. It don't surprise me no more.
Shreveport police are investigating after a 6th shooting breaks out in a matter of days.
If I hear about somebody getting killed, I'm like, oh, another person getting killed. I'm just so used to it. It's just been happening.
A man is now dead after a shooting on Burlingame Boulevard last night.
Yeah, you lose a lot of friends, lost a bunch of friends the past 2 years.
Shreveport police arrest a suspect who's accused of killing an elderly man last week.
Drugs are a big part of it in Shreveport. There's all kind of drugs, mess up families and ruin families.
Caddo deputies arrest 4 people for handling machine guns and illegal drugs.
Seeing people being killed, robbery, all of these crimes, what is it going to take for us to realize that that's bad? And it's been happening for so long. Every day you see somebody getting killed. Every day you see something.
A man is shot while riding his bike in downtown Shreveport. Shreveport police say 44-year-old Raymond Behan Jr. was shot multiple times outside the Fairmont apartment complex.
It's really disappointing. Kids our age shouldn't be witnessing all of this, drugs, guns, all of this stuff. We should be having better lives than this.
This morning, a man is shot outside of a restaurant parking lot in Shreveport.
Raising your kids here, yeah, I think you have to be more on guard and more alert and understand what areas of the city you're in at what time, and even something as little as, where are you getting gas? It's just, I think it causes you to have a lot of distrust in people, distrust in society, and that's tragic because there are a lot of good people in the world. There's a lot of good people in Shreveport.
Shreveport police responded to 4 shootings within the span of an hour.
I love Shreveport, but at the same time it's very challenging because how Shreveport can turn people so fast.
A woman is dead after being shot in the head Saturday by an unknown person in the Moortown neighborhood.
If I had a chance to leave Shreveport, I would.
Shreveport police are investigating a deadly shooting. It happens around 3:30 at the Northside Village just off of North Market Street.
I want any opportunity that I can to just make it, to just get away from Shreveport, really. Just do something with my life.
Shreveport police were called to a shooting on Joella Avenue near Hardy Street around 4 Wednesday afternoon. Officers on the scene say a 14-year-old victim was shot in the arm.
It motivates me to get away from it. Cause it sometimes it don't even be the person, it be innocent people hanging with them people that they ain't have no business hanging with. So I say it just motivates, it pushes me harder, go harder, make sure you make it out.
Shreveport police respond to a shooting after a vehicle is shot at while traveling through the Cedar Grove neighborhood Friday morning.
I do think this area is great to live in, but I also think we have to be realistic in where we live and acknowledge there are problems, there is violence, and take steps to fix it and keep ourselves safe. Football can be that avenue to get a college education, and then a college education can set you up with a good future. And for us as coaches, what we kind of harp on is, I'm only the second person in my family to graduate from college personally. And a lot of these kids, they're breaking generational barriers. We made it a mission of ours long ago that we better make it about the kids and not about winning and losing. Rather than chasing championships, we're chasing relationships. We're not talking about anything in our program that the kids aren't talking about first. Kids, they see what's going on with their own eyes, they hear what's going on with their own ears of what's going on in the city. This isn't a place that most of our kids, most of them, not all of them, but most of them want to be long term. And so I think in helping them get to college, whether it's through an academic scholarship or through a football scholarship, they get to go experience a different part of the world to see if this is a place that I would like to be, long term. they get to meet new people, they get to get out of the monotony of hanging with the same people, going to the same places, putting yourself in danger, things of that nature. So I just think having those experiences while getting an education and a degree is something that's only going to further enhance their lives, which is the most important thing.
How would you describe Gerald?
Wow.
Look at the pass between two Eagles here. Gerald Abbott puts it home.
Gerald, he was, fun, goofy, like real fun to be around.
Great feed from Gerald Abbott to Davion Coleman.
He was loving, had a good spirit all the time, and he loved basketball.
He could make you laugh on your worst days. Like Gerald walk in, everybody cool with Gerald.
And he loved his brothers. He loved everybody. And if you was close with him, he was gonna love you. He's gonna protect you for sure.
Shreveport police are investigating after a man was shot just moments ago.
Caught up in the wrong place, wrong time, with the wrong crowd. I was in my bed, and then I seen a post on Instagram, and I seen a picture of him, and she was at the hospital.
Another deadly weekend in Shreveport after an 18-year-old is shot and killed outside of a hotel on Pines Road on Sunday night.
Losing him, I don't have the desire to even coach right now.
Charles Dean in despair after he learned of the shooting that claimed the life of Gerald Abbott Jr.
When he got the phone call that Gerald passed, I stopped watching the games. I stopped working.
I text my coach, Coach Deans. I text him, trying to see was it true, and that's when I found out.
It's like losing a part of me because these kids, you spend so much time with them, you get to know and grow with them. He's like my child.
My sister, her best friend, she has like a business, and like he was her brand ambassador because they were very close. And so I found it at home, and I was like, man, that's crazy because like it just really shows me how anything can happen to anybody. He knew my cousins and stuff like that. It's just crazy because like it just really it showed me how close everything could get to me, and then like how close everything can get to my family and stuff, and like people I know. So I just gotta stay safe.
Just sat in my room, just thinking about him. Just think about all the memories and all the fun we had at basketball games.
I remember Adam calling me and telling me and kind of being in shock about it because you hear about it on the news, of course, but this was the first time it's, ever been that close to home. And so then you immediately start worrying about your kids and not only about their safety, but their mindset, because it's a lot on these kids.
When it happened, it just surprised everybody, like, dang, just had graduated, but nobody was expecting him to go like that.
It makes basketball so irrelevant. We go back to the conversations that we have. Could I have done more? If it's something else, I could have told him. If it's something else, I could have told all my boys, and that they can do something different in their life.
Adam and the coaches, they stepped up. They made their phone calls. They asked if they were okay. They were there as a shoulder if anybody needed it.
We had a lot of guys on the football team that were close to him that would reach out to me and want to talk, or some guys that I knew ran with him, and I'd reach out to them and talk with them. It's every coach's, parents, certainly parents, but coaches, administrators, teachers, it's your worst nightmare when you lose a student, especially to something like gun violence. It's tough. I mean, it's tough all the time. It's tough all over the city. But the sad fact of the matter is it's happening too much in the city.
A teenager is gunned down in Shreveport's Queensboro neighborhood.
Shreveport police say 17-year-old Devin Myers was shot multiple times in the back. Myers had left school early to get a haircut.
1, 2, 30.
Myers played his last basketball game on Tuesday, celebrated his birthday on Wednesday, and on Thursday he was gunned down in a Queensboro neighborhood.
I talked to him Thursday morning. He told me he loved me. That was really the last thing we really just said to each other.
Look what that angel did. Look at the community. You could see how well loved he was.
Growing up, the way I grew up, I think it allows me to relate to our kids. I remember being in high school and, the youth group at the church would go to, family night on Wednesday nights, and everybody would throw in $5 and, go get pizza or go to a movie or go ice skating in Dallas or whatever. And there were several weeks I didn't have the $5 to get to go with my friends. You know, I was in college when I had 2 friends, you know, get shot. You know, so growing up in a very similar environment to what my kids grew up in, I think it's helped me that, you know, relate to them, understand where they're coming from, and then also be a support and offer the encouragement or maybe the words of wisdom that I didn't have at that age. It's our job as coaches, it's my job as the head coach to talk more about what you can do to keep yourself out of that situation by the people you're hanging around with, where you're at, what time you're there. Nothing good happens after midnight, you know, and because of those discussions, you know, we haven't lost a football player yet.
It's hard, but I know what he would want me to do. When, you know, every time I talk to him, he always, you know, telling me to stay focused. So I know what he would want me to do. So, you know, I'm sticking to it. You know, trying to make him proud, as trying to make myself proud too. I don't like to think about like him dying. I just like to think about the good memories, all the good times we had, and it just, you know, keeps me from thinking about it too hard. Just wish it never happened, but it's like I can't go back to the past and change it. So we just gotta move on, keep his spirit alive.
What was getting that first offer like?
It was surreal. It was actually like amazing because the feeling that you get when you first hear him say, "We would like to offer you." It was amazing.
It came quick. I wasn't expecting it, but it came fast. All I can do is thank God and keep on working. I can't let it get to my head. I just got to keep on working, keep trying to get better every day. And Coach Kirby, he gonna make sure we get better every day, 1%.
One thing that I do tell our guys all the time is you're going to be, you know, 4 things in life. You're going to be a husband, a father, an employee, and a boss. Now, you only may be 2 of those 4. You may be all 4. You may be one of the 4. But you're going to be one of those 4 at some point in your life. And what college does is it gives you an experience. With my background of being a college coach and having a lot of connections across every level, you know, not every kid's going to go to Alabama, not every kid's going to go to LSU, and that's okay. But just having the background of knowing coaches at the JUCO level, at the NAIA level, the D3 level, D2, I mean, I've got buddies all over the country. And for me, that's the most important thing that we do in our program. I could tell you a story on all 24 of them. Cam Randolph missed his whole senior year, got in a car wreck, was almost killed. He got to sign. Cam Robinson went through some personal things. Ended up signing with Louisiana Tech. Macho played 2 years of football, moved to defensive back, really did a great job for us, ended up going to Texas Tech. Jaden Edwards had an injury his senior year, signed with Hardin Simmons. Terrence Green, everybody under the sun thought he was a little bit too small, but he was an all-state defensive end for us. You know, he went to Hardin Simmons. Thomas Murray ended up signing at Temple. He ended up at Oklahoma State. He's kicking at Oklahoma State now. Kendrick is a true freshman, played and started on special teams at Alabama. You know, Scotty Semo going to UL Lafayette is a preferred walk-on. There's a guy that was told he was too small, too slow, but he just kept working every day. Brandon Johnson goes to Lyon College, starts every game. Zion Lilly goes to Lyon College where he starts every game. Jordan Johnson goes to Bethany College in Kansas, battled through an injury, hurt his shoulder, you know, still gets a scholarship. Braylon Finney goes to Grambling. He ends up going to Navarro College in Corsicana where he's still playing. A guy like Sam Mercer got hurt, ended up going to LSU to be a student assistant, work with the football team. He's getting his college paid for. And think of all the connections that Kendrick has now just from playing for Nick Saban in Alabama, that Kelby has from being a first-team All-American at the Division I level at Southern University.
It gives you inspiration, like, you know, somebody from your same situation, same hometown, same all that, knows you can do it. They did it.
Super proud, like, it's like, you really did. It's like you actually did. You made it. It feel like you made it for once. Like you seeing them make it. They going to the next level. You expecting them to do the same thing they were doing at Shreve. Be good, ball out.
My goals, I want to go to the D1 college, no matter if it's football or basketball. I just want to go and make my family proud, make the coaches proud, you know, make everybody that I promised, especially my grandma, I want to make her proud the most. I promised her that I was going to stay out of trouble
and that I was gonna make it for her, and I always kept that promise. So now I'm working very hard to, make that promise come true.
I feel like that football is a very deep and implanted in my heart motivation for me to just get them out and get them in a better environment. So everybody, like no family member left behind, like everybody needs to be out.
I was really focused on the way to just leave Shreveport. Like college is always there for me, and like I know like I can go without playing football or with football, but I just feel like I wanna go somewhere that pushes me. I wanna go somewhere where like I can be set up for the rest of my life. Like I could like set up like my children's life and stuff like that. Me going somewhere else could like really like just open my eyes and help me like make myself a better person. Then like with my family encouraging me, it's just like they want me to be better too. If I'm better, then people around me better.
This game has given me so much, and if it wasn't for this game, I'd be afraid to know where I'd be in my life. I hope I'm judged far more by the kind of people we produce in our program than the amount of wins that I get myself, okay? Because, again, 300 wins doesn't mean anything to me if I had the opportunity to help over 300 kids and we didn't do it. Love conquers all, and when kids know that they're loved and when kids know that you care about them, you can coach them as hard as you want to coach them. You can have open and honest conversations with them and tell them when they're not doing right, tell them when they're not doing good, because they know that on the back end you're going to come up and give them a hug. The moment I die, resign, retire, whatever, they're going to be asking who the next head coach is. They're not going to be thanking me for what I've done, but those kids are going to thank you for the support you gave them, the future you gave them, the help you provided them.
All in on three, all in on me, 1, 2, 3. All in.